Alrighty. Okay, guys. Thanks for tuning back in. I see Mikkel in the chat. Guys, thanks for rolling with the punches here. I'm on the, and Bernie's there as well. I'm on the laptop today. I'm trying out different workflows because I want to be less beholden to just my desktop workflow. The studio is great, but I haven't changed locations yet. And there is a strong potential for increased travel for me in the next couple of months. So yeah, working in Q1 and Q2 remotely, I have to test out different workflows. So I have to know that this is going to work out. And so, you know, growing pains. I apologize for that, guys. I realize that for most people, we don't view any kind of, you know, we don't view a laptop as like a proper workstation, especially in the GPU mining space. Let's be very, very real. In the GPU mining space, we do not view laptops as like a worthy competitor to just like a well-built desktop, right? It just doesn't make sense at all. Any system builder will just tell you, right? They just don't even compare. So I realize that's a bit of an issue. Anyway, Crypto Gamer is in the chat. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. Bernie, Luttrell, thanks for being here, guys. Mikkel, obviously, guys, big ups to the fam. Thank you. Thank you for being supportive. It means a lot, guys. It really does. Let me jump back from the beginning of the content, the way I've got it lined up, because it will make more sense that way. Jumping straight into our Fear and Greed Index, going to do a quick recap of that. Also, I will need to, have to redefine what my chat is here as well. If I don't, then I won't be able to put your comments on screen, but I can do that with my remote workstation, my remote setup here. So let me fix that as well, and then we will be able to see your awesome comments on screen. It matters, guys. This stuff matters to me, knowing that we have the community here and involved. Let's take a look at that. Boom! All right. Hey, we've even got our theming going on. See that? Runs, it works like a charm. It's just simple CSS, right, guys? A laptop should be able to handle most of this stuff. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit too nerdy for some of our non-technical audience. Let's just talk about the Fear and Greed Index. Score 29, and that has to do with the news cycle, right? That's what this score means. Take a look at this trend, though, and we've been in fear for about a month. Like, we only popped into a bit of neutrality for a short amount of time. The market is very fearful right now. Why? I think in large part, actually the biggest reason why is because of some of the massive, audacious price targets from guys like Plan B, saying that we should have had $100,000 Bitcoin at the end of November. Here we are, the start of 2022. Do we have $100,000 Bitcoin? Well, obviously not. That's a rhetorical question, right? Like, that just hasn't happened. Plain and simple. So this fear line, I think, is going to continue, or it's going to continue until we see some recovery in the Bitcoin market in particular, right? If Bitcoin doesn't recover, then the general populace, right? Like just people who are kind of, you know, plebs, who are kind of not as much in the know as you or I are. They're just going to see like, oh, well, Bitcoin equals cryptocurrency, right? So, oh no, cryptocurrency prices are down. And they don't know. I mean, yes, sure, you can see the ticker symbol down below, locking in the prices as of today. It is true, the markets are down just a little bit. But I wouldn't call these depressed prices, right? Polkadot at almost $30, Avalanche at 110. Come on, even the stable coins are trading at above parity, right? Like, there's quite a bit that's doing just fine. See, like, even Tether, look at that. Even Tether's doing better than $1. But Solana at 170, over 170, and Ethereum at near $4,000, Bitcoin at over 46. Come on, this is not a depressed market. It just isn't, you know, that massive moon target where we're definitely seeing 100K in the markets. So yeah, I don't think anybody should have concern here. That said, this is not meant to be legal, financial, or business advice. Do take anything you see on this show with a grain of salt, and make sure you do your own research, guys. You're responsible for your own decisions. I'm not your financial advisor. Let's take a look at the main news article. This is part of what creates this sentiment, is the news cycle, right? So top of the list, we got Samsung saying it's going to have an integrated NFT lineup. And I mentioned before, it was hilarious. My stream totally shut down. The last stream that I did totally shut down when I was mentioning that I have some doubts here, guys. I don't know how badly we need this. I don't know who was asking for this. But Samsung, as they do have smart TVs, they can install apps on their TVs that would be like, for example, an OpenSea or a Rarible app. They can totally do this. The one issue that I have, though, is here, this third bullet point, where it says NFT creators will be able to preset the display settings for their artwork so that everyone can see them in the same true to original condition. I think if that were literally true, why don't they just work with like Netflix and Hulu and say like Amazon Prime and HBO, right? And Disney and all these other major streaming platforms that have an interest in showing their media, right, in a true to original format. I just don't buy it, right? That's what I'm saying. I just don't buy it. I think that there are some content creators that desperately want for their content to look better than it currently does on most televisions. And I don't think that NFT creators are high on that list, right? When you've got millions of dollars and billions of dollars going into the streaming platforms and people wanting to see cinema grade quality coming out of their TV, I don't know if NFTs are really a high priority, right? If we can just get HDR to work correctly for streaming shows that are shot and produced in HDR, I think most consumers would be pretty happy with that. So I don't know. I view this as like, writing keywords, kind of maybe even pandering a little bit to crypto markets, because Samsung has expressed interest in working within the blockchain space and having cryptocurrency offerings. So, I mean, good on them. They know their marketing very well. They know their audience very well, kind of tech-forward people who would be maybe interested in something like that. But I just don't see this as being a huge value add, right? Like, are you going to use your TV as a giant digital display? I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe they also have like a screensaver mode that lets you display your purchased NFTs. But how is that any different from just popping in an SD card into one of those old school digital picture frames? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see this being as impactful as maybe somebody at Samsung thought this would be. The app that would let people browse, display, purchase, and trade NFT artworks, well, that could literally just be a browser built into the smart TV that allows for wallets. And that's it. Or allows you to browse platforms that are natively connected to credit card payments as opposed to crypto wallets. This might not be as impactful as most people think it's going to be. Yankee is in the chat saying, hello, good sir. Open-minded Bitcoin says, hello, crypto fam. Hope all was well. Hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season. Thank you. I hope the same for you guys. Love and light in the new year, 2022. I think it's going to be a banger of a year. It just is. And in more ways than one, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised by how good this year is for those of us who understand cryptocurrency and who are willing to teach and train and onboard our family and friends. Bernie is in the chat, really excited about Flux. We're going to take a look at our portfolios really soon. The Deadwood says, hi, Crypto Gamer, also excited about Matic, Luna, and Gala bags. Yeah, if you're a gamer in crypto, I get why you'd be really excited about Gala, and we need to add that to our portfolio for sure. Guys, let me jump back into our news cycle, though. I think Samsung offering this now, I don't think it's too little too late. I think that Samsung is going to do just fine here, but I think it's going to be about as important a feature for most TVs as stereoscopic 3D was. And I say that as somebody who actually bought into stereoscopic 3D. I literally produced a TV show in stereo 3D because I believe in it that much. I really drank the Kool-Aid. But I think it's going to be about as impactful. Most people are just not going to buy a TV based on its ability to show JPEGs, right? Because they already do. They already have file browsers. Anyway, moving on, guys. Some of the market sentiment is also being swayed by news like this. Sol, AVAX, Luna, and ADA, the most promising layer 1 blockchains to watch out for, according to, air quotes, industry experts. Who are these industry experts anyway? Can we get some names here? Who are they? We need names! Okay, jokes. Back into it though, guys. These apparently are pegged as some of the biggest movers for 2022. Let's take a look to see who they are quoting here, because it's a small world. We're going to know these people. We're definitely going to know these people. And first off, guys, quick inline tutorial here. I don't want to see this side column. Do you? I'm going to right click on block element, and I'm going to live do a selection of their side column because I just don't want to see this stuff. I just don't want that in my view. So get rid of their latest stories as well, because I just don't want to clutter up our live stream with that stuff that has nothing to do with the main content, the main story that they're showing here. All right, now we got rid of that entire side column. We got a little more clean. But this is on zycrypto, zycrypto.com, and they're talking about these four in particular: Solana, Avalanche, Terra Luna, and Cardano. Now, Cardano, I've been very kind of outspoken and maybe even a little bit harsh about my views on Cardano. I don't know if that's entirely fair. Guys, I think that sometimes, like, everybody's allowed to have their favorites, right? That's just part of a free market. And everyone's allowed to choose what they maybe are not the biggest fan of. And that's kind of been me with Cardano. However, I'm forced to admit that Cardano, their community, bare minimum, is extremely loyal. And their developer community appears to be pretty tenacious, right? They're not giving up, for sure. So there are people who are very loyal to it. And there are associated projects like Ergo and others that are really helping to shine a good light onto the Cardano ecosystem. Now, I don't know if that's definitely going to amount to like solid development in the Cardano ecosystem, but I think it would be foolish for me to just fully throw the baby out with the bathwater, if so to speak, right? By saying like, nope, Cardano is always trash, and it's always going to be trash. No, I think there is maybe some merit to the idea that Cardano could deliver something, and from the investing standpoint, it would be silly for me not to just try to take that seriously. Open-Minded Bitcoin gives some phenomenal advice, I think, in terms of smashing the likes. Let's just take a look. Also, it looks like, gosh darn it, it looks like now my comments are truncated, guys. I'm sorry. This is, again, I was trying to format this and get just a little bit better display on your comments. I might have to kill those in just a minute here, guys. Yeah, but thank you for hitting those, smashing those thumbs ups. Thank you for being here live, guys. But yeah, as far as there being really good scale, I don't see a whole lot of scale coming out of Cardano. It's just not happening. Not yet. So it's funny, they mentioned that Ethereum has not been able to solve the scalability trilemma. It's funny because scalability is actually one aspect of the so-called trilemma, which is a term that was coined by Vitalik. So it's kind of funny. So it is secure and decentralized, but not scalable enough. And we've been talking about this for the better part of a year. All of the GPU crypto mining fam on YouTube, I mean, we've come together actually for several engagements to work together on creating content. And it's been super cool to see the entire crypto mining fam come together to do joint content, like large panel streams and opinion pieces that we've contributed to each other's channels, in talking about how the move to proof of stake and then EIP 1559, they have not been enough to help Ethereum move the needle. They don't do anything to solve transactional throughput as far as we can tell right now, and they won't be enough, right? Layer 2 solutions and sidechain solutions are necessary. Even Vitalik has been speaking very favorably publicly about sidechain solutions and scaling solutions like Matic, right? Like Polygon, which you guys know if you watch the channel, I'm quite a fan of, actually. I think it's very underrated tech, actually. But we know that the side scaling solutions are going to be important, right? Sidechain solutions are going to be really, really important. So yeah, pretty big deal. Solana is one of those chains that some people are excited about, but we know that it's not without its problems, right? It's had significant downtime. Avalanche also. They say it's a strong competitor to Solana, but again, we know on this channel from paying attention to the facts, right? Don't let the facts confuse you. It's had significant downtime as well, and not because they chose to have downtime for any kind of upgrades or maintenance, but because the network itself became overloaded. There's a very big difference. And then they say for Polygon, the concern is that it's feebler than Avalanche as its native innovations are few. But it's close tie to Ethereum as a layer 2 blockchain is an advantage. That's hilarious that they're talking about it disparagingly. Again, they're acquiring more tech, right? They acquired Hermes. They are integrating ZK, not only ZK rollups, but also optimistic rollup tech that they're working on implementing. The Polygon ecosystem or Matic team has spent hundreds of millions of dollars in acquisitions in order to bring on more tech that maybe it lacks right now, and to decentralize itself with the formation of a DAO. So, bunch of great competitors here for sure. But I just don't. I always laugh when I see people say like, you know what, Polygon is provably inferior to Solana and to Avalanche, and I'm like, dude, provably how? These other networks were literally forced to restart or forced to shut down by transactional throughput. That has not happened yet with Polygon. The number of wallets, active wallets, continues to grow. The number of transactions continues to grow. In fact, as far as actual like non-junk transactions that have been pushed through the Polygon network, it's exceeded Ethereum as far as having real transactional throughput that represents whether it's DeFi or it's smart contract usage or it's just sending tokens. It's one of the few that's actually exceeded Ethereum by way of transactional throughput, and it's done so in the service of Ethereum as a dedicated scaling solution for Ethereum. Polygon is not a multi-chain solution. It is intended to be a scaling solution for Ethereum. So it's just kind of funny. There's clearly some ideological bent here by way of ZY Crypto. But it's just interesting. The L1s, they like the L1s, but I don't know. I'm here to tell you guys that I think, in my opinion, it's not just L1s that are going to do well this year. It's going to be L2s or scaling solutions that move towards Ethereum. Why? Because Ethereum is what DeFi is, right? Ethereum equals DeFi in the minds of almost all retail participants. Yeah, you can be a Solana maxi, and that's fine. Yeah, you can be really into Avalanche, and whatever. You made a lot of money by being really into Avalanche early. It's at over $110 per coin. So if you got in at sub-dollar exposure, you're doing great, right? Like, you're very happy with your investment into Avalanche. But I think it's wrong-headed to presume that Avalanche is going to outperform Ethereum directly. Drinking Milk asks about ZIL, and you know what? ZIL is a great question. Let me see also if I can just refresh the chat, guys. I really love having your chat on screen. I just don't know. Gosh darn it. Yeah, I really don't know why I'm having so much of an issue here. Yeah. Oof. Sorry about that. I'm going to try to keep this on screen, though. Okay. So, yeah, leave that there. But yeah, I do want to see your chat as it comes in if I can. All right. And just refresh that. No, you guys see that? It gets truncated. Whatever the custom CSS is that I added there, it's causing some trouble there. I'm going to have to revisit the way I've got it implemented here on the mobile workstation. This is important to me because I want to be able to bring you more live content and more great community chat when I'm on the road in the near future. So yeah, ZIL, it's a worthy inclusion in this conversation, and it's never talked about, right, by any of these articles. Good point, Drinking Milk. It's a very good point. ZIL is actually secured by proof of work, and you actually have that merge mineability on like ezil.com or whatever. I don't really cover it that often, but it is worth mentioning here. Do I think it's a competitor to Ethereum? Not a credible one, no. In the same way that I don't think that Polygon is technically a credible competitor to Ethereum. It's not meant to be a competitor. It's meant to be an enabler of Ethereum. And that's why it continues to win. Sure, moving slowly, but I think we're going to see more about that as we go over some of our other content here, guys. So last bit of news that I wanted to cover as we go over markets today, guys, is on decrypt.co by the homie Andrew Asmakov, talking about how the leading DeFi tokens post fresh gains as wider crypto market stalls. Ouch. Ouch. But here's the thing. We kind of saw this coming, didn't we? I mean, if we were paying close attention, we kind of saw this coming, didn't we? I'm pretty sure our community here saw it coming, right? DeFi has been the major story, the major through line of the last 2 summers, right? We had DeFi Summer 1.0, followed by DeFi Summer 2.0, which I have, lovingly termed DeFi, basically DeFi L2 summer. But we're going to continue to see that trend in this upcoming year of cryptocurrency markets. I think that there are so many people who are interested in seeing yield on top of their locked-in crypto gains, whether they're from Bitcoin or some other network. People just want to see yield, especially when there's a giant question mark behind the US dollar and perhaps not its fungibility, but its reliability moving forward. Most people are genuinely, rightfully concerned about fiat currencies. And so knowing that you're going to get yield on top of cryptocurrency assets that may be either pegged to the US dollar or can perform outside of the US dollar, that's reassuring to people in a time of huge uncertainty. I mean, real estate markets, equities markets, commodities, everything kind of has a question mark next to it, right? But cryptocurrencies, we know, can be viewed as hard money. So people are less concerned about that, I think. Let me pull your chat up so I can see you guys. Drinking Milk says, lots going on in the world. New Year's hangover. Yeah, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, guys, Happy New Year to anybody who's just tuning in. Definitely appreciate you being here. Thank you for your support, guys. It really means so much. Moving into 2022, community is what matters, and I appreciate you guys being here to support. It does mean a lot to me. It means a lot to my family too, guys. I know I'm not super open or like super, I'm not super transparent about that, but you know, I'm married, I have kids, and you being supportive and helping me to live this dream of being a crypto content creator is it's changing my life. Thank you. The 2022 is awesome because of you. So appreciate you. Leading DeFi tokens though, yes, it is DeFi. Here's what they have on their list though, right? They've got some of the top yield protocols. So you've got your Uniswaps, you've got your Curve, you've got some of your other yield protocols like Aave, right? And then Compound. These are going to be where most people are looking to see those gains. So yeah, you got L1s that are doing well, but if you pair L1s with some kind of yield platform, you got a really powerful thing, right? So Yearn, Uniswap, Aave, and Compound, they're all seeing these move, and that's what this article is about. And I see the same thing. We saw this last year as well. Plenty of people who did extremely well, with their investments on some of these yield platforms. And I mean, in some cases, people are just like literally changing their lives based on crypto gains they had locked in from previous years, and then being able to flip some of their gains into passive yield, right? Using decentralized platforms like Aave and Compound. It's the best of both worlds, right? You've got some Bitcoin maxis who inexplicably, in their minds, in their worldview, it's like you're not allowed to sell your cryptocurrency, right? You're not allowed to sell your Bitcoin, but you are allowed to park it on a centralized platform in exchange for yield? Come on. I don't understand this, guys. I really don't. Also, let me quickly let me shift this up just a little bit. Try to, center that out. I was going crazy there. I was starting to drive me a little bit nuts. But I don't understand the worldview of some of these Bitcoin maxis who talk about how it's okay to park your currency, your Bitcoin, onto a centralized platform where you no longer control your own Bitcoin, but in exchange for yield, so it's okay, right? Like, that's crazy to me. And nothing against like Celsius or Alex Mashinsky or the team there. I mean, awesome team. I'm not saying anything, bad about any of these people individually at all, but I don't understand people who claim to be all about sovereignty, right? And not your keys, not your crypto, thinking that it's okay to park all their crypto on centralized platforms, but then in the same breath saying, you know what though, it's wrong for you to be involved in DeFi because it's a centralized crap coin, right? Ethereum is a centralized crap coin, and all these other coins are just centralized crap coins. They're all just trying to steal liquidity away from Bitcoin. Well, dude, what did you just do with your Bitcoin? You threw it onto a centralized platform that's stealing liquidity from the decentralized market. How is that any different? I don't get it. You see what I mean? Like, you guys catch my criticism and picking up what I'm throwing down? I've got a problem with this. But you look at some of these other platforms, you got your Aave and your Compounds and whatever else, and I don't see the problem here, right? When you've got truly decentralized platforms that offer yield, right? Yearn, Uniswap, and I'm going to throw in a shameless plug for the homies over at QuickSwap, guys, because I know them and I love them to pieces, right? QuickSwap as well, which is a direct fork of Uniswap v2, but just for Polygon, the Polygon network. And Mikkel and some other people in the community know I'm really close with these people. I know their developer. I have a private chat going with their developer team and a bunch of other people on a regular basis. So I've got a lot of love for them. But I'm just going to add there's more than just what you see here. These yield platforms, I'm not seeing the same problems that you see on certain centralized platforms, right? Like, you don't hear about people getting Mount Goxed over on Uniswap, Aave, or Compound, or even Yearn, right? Like, you don't see that happening. But there are people who are making returns, right? They're vastly outperforming their fiat savings at whatever, Bank of America or JP Morgan or Barclays or wherever else. Like, they're just like those traditional centralized banking institutions. They're getting punched in the face, dude, repeatedly. Just absolutely getting Mike Tysoned by DeFi. So I agree, right? Layer ones, if you want to take some risk, sure, whatever, fine. I don't think that it stacks, the ranking stacks up quite the way they say here. But then also when it comes to DeFi yield, I don't see why we wouldn't do this, guys. It just, in my opinion, it's just smart money. You tell me what you think in the comment section. Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Got some chats coming in, guys, and I apologize they're not properly populating in that lower corner of the screen. I wish we had a little bit better visibility there. But the Deadwood says, let's see, crop dust the aisle, then watch in pride as they as they sniff. It's the N95 sniff test. That's beautiful. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, right? It's like, yeah, oh, that N95 is definitely working for sure. Hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, guys, that's a bit of a rant there. But moving on in the content stream, let's take a look at our Bitcoin chart, guys. As you can tell, I'm on literally the trial version of TradingView. This is not even the full version of TradingView, but this is enough for us to take a look at a couple of important indicators. I've got the MACD down below, the moving average, convergence, divergence. Now, we've just hit a near convergence point. We're not diverging heavily into bullishness as we'd hoped, but we are coming back off of a bullish divergence. And the chopsticks did okay for a minute, but then they failed to see the correction. We haven't streamed since that point. So here we did kind of move upward in that channel, but it almost immediately corrected. Actually, we hit the bottom of that candle right there. It almost immediately corrected. We saw a little hatchet handle right there. Let me go ahead and kind of zoom in a little bit so we can see. This is the daily chart, but a little hatchet handle right there. And to the day, that candle, that was our resistance line right there. And it dropped right out of that range, right? So we're below the $50,000 mark. Now we're down in that yellow range where, for me, I've talked about on multiple occasions, this to me, like, yellow means go faster. This could be for some people an okay spot where they may want to dollar cost average continuously into Bitcoin. I thought that this green range and the yellow range, from me, they made sense. Once we got into the red range here, I stopped dollar cost averaging, and I told you, right? I was very public about the fact that I stopped dollar cost averaging, putting my fiat money into Bitcoin at this point. I didn't want to throw good money after bad. It didn't make sense to me, right? Like, dollar cost averaging at this point, and I know there's going to be somebody in the audience that just reminds me like, oh, but Seth, 4 years from now, you're going to be fine. Yeah, I got it. I understand. I know the market cycle. I get the stock to flow model, and we've seen continuous gains in Bitcoin. But here's the thing, we live in a market right now with market conditions that are still volatile enough and exciting enough that I don't have to settle for 4-year gains, right? I can see a return on my dollars invested in the next month, 2 or 3 or 6. I don't have to set that time to ROI at 4 or 5 years. To me, that seems crazy. Again, talking about before how we can see percentage returns on any kind of DeFi tokens inside of some of the yield protocols like Curve, right, and others. It doesn't make sense to me to get punched in the face here on a 1 month like time frame in exchange for an ideology where I defer my gains for 5 years. That's crazy to me. You guys tell me in the chat though, what do you think? Do you think it's important for me to reevaluate my worldview? Should I only ever be touching Bitcoin? Should I convert to full-on maximalism? Should I put a little toxic symbol next to my Twitter and or my other profiles? Tell me in the chat. I'm a slave to the court of public opinion, right? However convicted, I'll just have to go with what you say. Obviously, these are the jokes, guys. But on that note, there are some alternative platforms that people have been talking about, especially after that very notable interview. I will not name names, but with a guy, last name that sounds like Rogaine. Notable interviews that have brought a lot of people onto this platform. Are you guys on this platform? Have you heard about it yet? Have you seen it yet? Do you think it's exciting? Would you jump onto this platform to get rid of the Bird app? I don't know. I think I might. And I did actually reserve my usernames there. Hey, look at that. let's do this the right way. Instead of using Dark Reader, let's use their built-in dark mode. It's pretty good. Are you on this app, guys? That's the big question. If you are, hit me up at the user handle at mineyourbiz and say hello. Go check it out. If you are interested, I'm not going to put a link down in the description. I am just going to mention this. But man, I am eager to see something that's a genuine competitor to the Bird app. I'm eager to see things that are genuine competitors to this app. The number of headaches, even just today, the number of headaches that I've had to deal with in trying to go with a decentralized alternative to some of the traditional publishing and social media platforms. Guys, it's been ongoing. If you've been following the channel for the last 3 years, then you know I've been trying out alternatives for the last 3 years. Almost everything that comes my way, I've been trying out. And I'm just getting tired, bros. I'm just getting tired. I just want something to work. I want something that is, not just cross-platform. What is it I'm looking for? That's cross-political platform. That is not partisan. I don't want to be stuck in, in any kind of just. I don't want to deal with people who are just like in another echo chamber. Core Visual says, a buddy of mine says the terms of service over there are similar to Bird app insofar as allowing them to ban users and content. Here's the thing, guys. I having covered these for years now, these various alternatives to the mainstream platforms, the terms of service will always look similar. Guess what? DLive was similar, and I dragged them for it when DLive launched. They didn't like that one bit. Did they continue to operate? Yeah, they did. But did they immediately ban anybody who they viewed as controversial? Yeah, they also did that. BitTube, right? If you recall, I covered BitTube early on, gave them a lot of love. I was the first channel there to break 1,000 subscribers on BitTube, and then they changed platforms, got rid of all my subscribers, had me start all over again, and gave a lot of love to people who they thought would be bigger, air quotes, bigger influencers. So I got kind of rug pulled by them. And then, jokes on them, the token didn't do so well after that. I feel bad about it because I know that they were building very seriously, but they just had no cohesive vision of what they actually wanted to be when they grew up as a platform. So, yeah. Then you have DTube, which I tried, but it was pure IPFS. That backing doesn't work. It doesn't scale. IPFS is never going to be a replacement for the centralized servers that YouTube has to use. It just won't. That can't scale. It didn't scale, and it doesn't scale, and it won't scale. There are serious problems there. So yeah, there are some issues across all of these decentralized platforms, and I know firsthand from having tried them out, experienced the growing pains, and then asked myself, could I keep this up? If I wanted to, could I keep this up? And the answer has consistently been no. The one platform that I will say has caused me less grief than all the others has been Library/Odyssey, right? So odyssey.com. And I always leave the link to that down in the description of my videos. Please do follow me there. That means a lot to me. The Library protocol, though, it could host something that is a genuine alternative to the Bird app, and nobody's built it yet, and that bothers me. If we could get a team to decide that they would actually build on top of Library to do that, yeah. Latrell asks, have you tried out Mines? Yes, I have tried out Mines, and I'm just not active there. It didn't seem to have as much social impact as they wanted. And so, yeah, I've got some issues. Let me go ahead and pull that up, guys. While we're talking about this, of the various other platforms, and the fact that they got, first off, Mines.com as a top-level domain is a pretty big deal. They got the .com, TLD. That's a pretty big deal. Having them register that, it's a lot more simple. There you go. Transferring assets from cdn-assets.mines. This is another example of this where you guys, centralization when it comes to serving web content is it's so much easier. And that's the problem over here. Guess what? This is a Firebase/Google Cloud app. That's what this is. This, very likely the same thing. And if it's not Google Cloud, then it's AWS. And if it's not AWS, it's one of the other majors, right? It's IBM or something else. This is not decentralized. It's just not. But let me just here we go. Proof of life, guys. Gonna put in the search term so you can see that there is. Come on. What are you talking about? Nothing mortal. Yes, there is. See? Right there. Boom. It's your boy. I'm there, right? Now, do I have a whole lot of subscriptions or do I have a whole lot of subscribers there? No. Do I have a whole lot of content there? No. It just wound up not being as impactful as I hoped it was. That and between the time that I joined it and now, they've added Mines Plus. What the hell is Mines Plus? What do you... It's now a paid-for service? Okay, well, they've got tokenomics, too. Okay, let's open up, try to expand this. Should be able to do this without too much difficulty. If you guys are able to see this, then, you know, and then whoop-de-doo, good for you. Like, it's not gonna show you anything that you're not allowed to see. But go ahead and log in right there. Yeah, first off, yeah, good luck hash cracking my passwords. Wherever possible, they are ridiculously long. So, and I get it. Oh, you know, whatever. For proper entropy, you only need 12 characters. Get out of here, man. Now I'm going to make the longest possible password that my password manager lets me do, right? So, anyway. Let's see. So what do we got here? Some Goblin Loser says he was playing Gods Unchained. That is dope. I'm glad you did. And Latrell High, it's like South Park. It's like South Park post-vid. South Park post-vid special. Yeah, guys, I could probably do my own animated series just with the voiceover stuff, but whatever. The point is, and I think you get it. The point is that I'm on these platforms. Here we go. There's all this other stuff, right? You got wallets and, you know, buy crypto and earn and, you know, boost your content. And I mean, they've got a pretty decent layout, but I just did not see this having the impact. Here's the issue. Guys, I'm going to show you something, but, you know, take this with a grain of salt. LGBTQ. Why? Why? Like, why would I care to search this? Here's why. Look at the subscriber counts on those channels. Look at the trending content, the latest, the top content, and then the latest content. First off, it is taking its sweet time here. Well, it could be because there basically isn't any here. Why would that matter to me? Well, it matters to me because I want to know that it's not an echo chamber. But it is. It is an echo chamber, right? The only people who are on these platforms are people who do not care about that stuff. Now, is this... there we go. There we go. It's all derogatory. And here's the thing. I actually kind of agree with this worldview a little bit. I don't think it's I don't think it's that simple, but I do think that there is a lot of like legit brainwashing, and there's a lot of difficulty for children today. Like, it's more difficult than ever before for children to figure out their place in the world, and it's been made far more difficult because of the pervasiveness of social media. So without me saying like, yeah, this is great, I'm gonna be labeled a radical publicly or something. You guys know I'm pretty traditional, I'm pretty conservative. I don't make a secret of it, but I also try not to like completely mess with people who, right? Like mess with people who have a different worldview. It's like some of this stuff it's kind of funny too, right? You could literally put there like I'm vegan, right, or whatever else you want, right? Like it is kind of funny. It's a funny meme, but there's nothing here. Generally speaking, there's not much here by people who are like pro-alternative or progressive. Now, am I saying that that's my worldview? No, but that's precisely why I need to see other people here who have that opposing view. Otherwise, there is no middle ground where either side can help win hearts and minds. You see what I mean? Like, there is a problem here, fundamentally a problem with all of these other platforms. And it's that there is no crossover audience at all. Not one bit. We can't find them, right? Every time that one of these platforms pops up, guess who it immediately belongs to? That's right. People who are right of center. But there we go. Neutral public platform. I guess that's what they want to do. That's what they want it to be. I just don't see it, guys. I just don't see it. Wow. I'm not seeing much, right? I'll put it that way. I'm really not seeing much. And is it that I actually want to see, is it that I actually want to subscribe to this kind of content? No, but I want to have conversations around people who are having those kinds of conversations because I want to talk to them about anything else. I don't necessarily want to proselytize, but I do want to know that there's a large sampling of people here with very different opinions. Otherwise, there's not going to be meaningful discourse. right? I don't see that happening. I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm just like I'm out there where I would rather be around people who have differing opinions. You tell me in the comment section, though. Is it that I absolutely have to? Am I totally wrong ideologically? I have to only hang out with people who are exactly like me? Tell me, really. I want to know. What do you think? Am I messing it up? Am I doing it wrong? Should I only be around people who think and talk exactly as I do? Should I only be around people who will agree with me? Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that's the way to move forward. I'm not convinced that's the way to help others. I'm not convinced that, I won't get too preachy here. I won't get too churchy, but I'm not convinced that that's what Jesus would do if that's your guy. I'm not convinced that's what Muhammad would do if that's your guy. I'm not convinced it's what any spiritual guru or leader would do. So, take whatever. Like, take your pick. Pick your poison, whatever it is. Whatever your ideology is, guys. Why do we have to keep on trying to silo ourselves? I disagree with some of this stuff. Yeah, so anyway, that's what kind of has me concerned, and why Bird App, for as much as it really bothers me that they're just shutting down, and they've been shown to have a bias against certain kinds of worldviews, and they keep just shutting down and deplatforming people. Bird App, if I can make it work for as long as possible, and same with this app, if I can make it work for as long as possible, I'm going to try to make it work, right? Because it is like the great watering hole. Everybody hangs out here to try to figure out what the latest news is and, what's going on in the world. And yes, there are silos, and yes, there are echo chambers, and yeah, that's annoying, and I don't think it's good enough, right? I think we're doing the future generations a disservice by not doing better and figuring out a way to disagree publicly, politely, right? And get along anyway, even though we disagree. But it bothers me that these platforms are complicit in censorship. So painfully obvious that they're complicit in censorship. And I'd rather we found some better way to handle it. Anyway, rant over. Let's take a look at these charts again. These chopsticks won't go placing themselves, right? So we go ahead and move this lower chopstick down just a little bit. Looks like we are ranging sideways. There's not much that's very interesting to draw here. So don't consider this any kind of like price targeting or anything. That's not at all what I'm doing. I'm just adjusting because we're no longer in an upward channel. But we could consider this something of if we wanted to, we could view it as a downward channel, or we can just delete that breakout right there and then go with our green candles up and check that out. Yay! Now we've got a little confidence in those chopsticks. We'll leave that right there, guys. Again, this is not legal, financial, business advice. You know this. You've always known this. This is not the place that you're going to find your price targets for Bitcoin, but we can take a look at the past and figure out what it has done, and then try to make something of a plan moving forward. Mostly for me, that it's been these giant macro ranges where we're trying to decide whether or not we want a dollar cost average. And this is still, for me, the yellow area, this yellow range, is still kind of fraught with peril, right? Like, I don't know that this is going to be the right choice for everybody. For some people, though, where they're looking at a long enough view, then yeah, maybe you are looking at five-year gains, and that's good enough for you. But for some people, it won't be, right? Yellow does mean slow down for some people. So that's why I went ahead and colored this range yellow. But let's move on to DeFi Llama. Total value locked on all chains is just doing great right now. And as we've come to expect, Ethereum, of course, is dominant, but only to the tune of about 62.3% of the entire DeFi market. It's shifted. Since doing this segment, guys, since including this particular tool, we've seen Ethereum move from nearly 70% dominance all the way down now to approaching 60% dominance, losing almost 10 basis points. First off, I'm gonna pause for a second and just say I really like using the words basis points instead of percentage. It makes me feel like I'm some kind of quantitative analyst, even though I'm really not. But one can imagine for the duration of one live stream. Point is, Ethereum is kind of losing its grip on DeFi markets, just a tiny bit, just a teeny tiny bit. What is gaining? Well, clearly Phantom. It's coming up. As far as its 7-day change in TVL, if that's how we're measuring dominance here, it's come up by almost 19%, right? 18% and change. Chronos is it's moving in a positive direction. It's not in the red. And then we've also got some other oddballs like Clayton, Osmosis, which I'll call less of an oddball, Harmony, And then some others, Aurora, Optimism. It's good to see that finally starting to do what it's supposed to do. Mixin, which I don't really view as an actual competitor in this space, but whatever. It's positive. Moon River and Thorchain, very refreshing to see them moving in the right direction, as well as XDAI and a few others like OKX. Let's see what else. Metis. Wow, it's up by over 10,000%. So yeah, so that means it's finally got a few million more. Wow, we got some false positives here, guys. That's what I'm going to say right there. I wouldn't be too worried about stuff that moves the way that Metis has. Algorand up, right? Godwoken up, and I did cover this on a live stream, guys. You really should go back and take a look at this. Godwoken is actually a test net of none other than Nervos. That's right. We've been talking about Nervos for a while. It's been in our portfolio for a while. But Godwoken is a testnet for Nervos. We've seen it as one of the more profitable coins to mine by way of ASICs and both FPGAs. Some FPGAs have been very performant on Nervos or the CKB token for a while. And now it's kind of more in the province of ASICs. But Godwoken is the testnet for Nervos. And it's great to see that they're doing so well. Let me pop this text size up just a little more for you guys. For those of you who are on mobile, should be a little more comfortable to watch if it's text size just a little bit bigger. So Godwoken up by 16%. Great to see that. So congrats, Nervos team. We're going to take a look at that briefly in the portfolio in just a minute here. Other notables are Sifchain coming back up. Had a little bit of a difficulty before. KuCoin, you guys have mentioned to me before. KCS, you were excited about. It's up significantly, but still, like before, that just means that it's up in the millions. It's not up in the, approaching the billions of locked value. Smart BCH, this is kind of contentious, but some people don't try to sound that out, right? Yeah. But Smart BCH, you gotta spell it out, not sound it out. It's doing pretty well. Zill, somebody asked earlier on, do I think it's a genuine competitor? No, I really don't, and I think that DeFi Llama tells us kind of the tail of the tape there, right? It just doesn't measure up. It really doesn't. It's a bit too low, as I mentioned before. Some of these false positives for growth. Some of them are built on fundamentals because they are part of a larger ecosystem, and others are they are their own captive ecosystem, and so they're going to give us false positives, in my opinion. Everscale, I think, is probably another one of those, as well as Nulls. Energy is down, sad face for that, as well as a few others. I think that going a little bit higher on this list, we see we see the ones that are actually making those moves. I'm excited to see Osmosis on the way up. They're approaching $1 billion locked, and they're part of the IBC gang. Guys, expect to hear more from me about Cosmos-related projects, and Osmosis is a cornerstone of the Cosmos ecosystem, or the IBC ecosystem. Just like, imagine that I'm giving you a close-up and we're talking right now. Face to face, I'm staring you dead in your eye and saying, look at Osmosis. Take this seriously. Gosh darn it. Because I think that it is going to make some moves relatively soon. But back up to the top of the list, guys. Ethereum is losing its grip all over. This iron grip on the markets. Avalanche, however, is growing very fast by way of protocol support, 126. But as you know, I like to measure BSC, still number 2, but Polygon, still number 3. It's still ahead of Avalanche, even though the value locked on Avalanche is high. The number of protocols on Polygon is ahead. They're maintaining that gap at 155 protocols on Polygon. And you have support from some of the most impactful protocols in the world, the OpenSeas of the world, the Coinbases of the world, which, this is not an endorsement of those platforms by me mentioning it, but I am saying these are platforms that have millions of users. So the exposure that Polygon gets is far greater than some of the lesser protocols that are captive on Avalanche or on Phantom. It's not that they're not doing work, they are doing work, but Polygon is in more places, and in more places that matter, right? So getting your mining payouts, if you're on GPU mining, guess what? Over 35% of all mining payouts by way of pooled mining can be paid out on Polygon. Yeah, 35% of all Ethereum mined, all mining rewards can be paid out in wrapped Ethereum on Polygon. Think about that for a second, guys. Really, how many tens of millions of dollars are eligible to be paid out on Polygon gasless, right? So to decrease the fees of small, at-home, and mid-scale miners. Polygon makes that possible. That's not happening on Avalanche. It's not happening on Phantom. It's certainly not happening on BSC. It's happening on Polygon. So you kind of see why I've been so bullish on this for a while, guys. Yeah, so Crypto Gamer says UST is connected to Osmo now too. Yeah, awesome, guys. I appreciate you guys are seeing it as well. Crypto Gamer says not a fan of SIF chain ever since they kicked all USA investors off their network. Yeah, guys, there's only so much that can be done there. A lot of DeFi is subject to local regulations or to the perception of local regulations. And when you are a foreign entity considering having to tangle with the SEC, I get why some companies would just say no and why some developers would just opt out. I get it. Anyway, guys, that's DeFi Llama right now. We've got some other stuff we can take a look at, right? So taking a look at the yield, this actually is a newer tab from DeFi Llama, looking at the yield protocols. This is pretty exciting too. Beefy Finance, you guys have mentioned it to me before. It was mentioned in the chat, but it is cross-chain. And lo and behold, yep, Polygon. Convex is Ethereum only, but here's the thing. When you see something that looks like it's Ethereum only, you must always check to see if it can be bridged to, you guessed it, Polygon. So, Yearn Finance, not Tomb Finance, but Alchemix, but Yearn Finance, Convex, and Alchemix, it could very well be that you have the ability to work with those tokens on Polygon. So, no, not Polygon. Oh my gosh. Nope. Abort. Dang. Whew, I thought for sure I was going to find something really wrong there. I mistyped that, guys. Oh my gosh. Oh, the fun we have here. Good Lord. Good Lord. All right, so let's go on back to polygonscan.com. Oh my gosh. Guys, that was so gnarly. I thought I was going to give myself a massive platform infraction there. I thought it was going to happen. I thought it was the end. Alrighty. Yeah, thanks ads. No. Bye. No. And I've got, shamelessly, I will happily just do my ad picking here. Get rid of this. But let's just take a look at Polygon Scan to see if we can find Convex token. It looks like we've got a Convex token listed here. Is there the possibility that this is a fake Convex token? Let's look up the token tracker here on polygonscan.com. It's always possible that we could be looking at a fake token. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I think, there we go. We've got, maybe this is fake. Yeah. Only so much supply. Looks like it's been recently bridged, but this could actually be a bridge. There we go. Swap exact token from where? Swap exact tokens for other tokens. It could be this is just somebody that's done a little bit of a bridge, and so there is possibly some crossover token supply over here. In the same way that, like, guys, be aware this is not an explicit endorsement of this token here. Just know, I try not to do explicit endorsements of anything. But Hex, there is a certain amount of the supply of Hex that is on Polygon, and I realize for people who are like holding out for Pulse Chain, it's like, wait, are you joking? There's Hex on Polygon. Why don't we just use Polygon if it matches all the characteristics of what people want to see on a fast throughput chain? Oh, sorry, not sorry. That's gone. All right, but yeah, you've got 500,000 transfers and over 5,300 addresses on Polygon that are holding Hex because it's cheaper to operate their staking contract on Polygon than it is on Ethereum, and because Pulse Chain is not mainnet yet. That's just kind of just throwing it out there, guys. Truth is stranger than fiction, right? People get upset about it, but there it is. The Deadwood says, man, I regret not snagging Hex last year. Hey, hindsight's 2020, right? Even people who were like big-time detractors from Hex are definitely feeling regret from not having any. Bro, I had my co-host, Nerd Girl, on who was starting to break Hexagon on the show, and I was like, I'm not comfortable. But dude, if I had just invested when she told me to, it'd be game over. Whatever. I'd still be obviously doing live streams, but it would have been a phenomenal investment for me. Moving on, guys, into our content lineup, we've got our GPU profitability ranking that we can just check out over here on whattomine.com. We're just going to go to the GPUs tab, make it a lot simpler for ourselves by going directly to the GPUs tab as opposed to going any other direction. And I'm going to, instead of looking at the, I Actually, I will go ahead and bring that down just a little bit. Bring our cost basis for power to 14 cents per kilowatt hour. Go ahead and resort this again, because I think it's important for us to know what the total damage is. Right now, the RTX 3090 is only giving you about $5.28 daily on 14-cent power. It's a little bit better than it was, before 2020. But dang, this is the lowest it's been for quite some time, being that far below $6 of daily profit after the cost of power. Radeon 7, $450, right? About $450. And then on down the line, let's see what our lowest profitability card is right now at the Radeon R9 390, 14 cents per day on Flux. Is it worth it? You guys have been hearing me say for a while that the R9 380 4 gig, if you had any, if you were mining on any, you definitely need to be moving to some kind of a market that either has completely subsidized power, federally subsidized power, or like literal 2-cent power. You're not going to be able to make this work for much longer. So you do need to get to cheaper power. Guys, if you are watching right now, just want to remind you, if you're live, don't be a lurker. Do hit that thumbs up button and do be subscribed. All the clicks count. Appreciate you being here with us live right now. But that R9 380, if you're not on free power, check that out. That's the difference. 14 cents per day versus getting a full 54 cents per day. It almost makes sense if you're on either free power or extremely cheap power. But 14-cent power, the average across the United States, nah. Your cards, I think, would actually fetch you more money because they might actually be useful to somebody somewhere. Even if they aren't worth much, they're going to help you liquidate into a higher profit margin than waiting on 14 cents per day, right? For however long it takes for you to get that same amount. The GTX 1050 Ti also doing okay, but realistically, we want to see that on the cheapest power we possibly can. And then the R9 Fury, still kicking butt, taking names, but far better on cheap or free power, right? Or just looking at it as a cost subsidy, a power or acquisition subsidy for your dollar cost average. So that might be the only way to frame that. The Polaris cards at 4 gigs, same story, well below $1. And the Polaris cards, let's see, at 8 gigs, just above $1. We're almost at that point where I think even the strongest of hands in the GPU mining space might be considering, like, hey, maybe I need to right size my mining operation. Maybe I need to move along. In the same way that Red Panda Mining literally started giving these away, some Polaris cards and some GTX 1660s as community giveaways, some at-home miners might be considering, like, maybe I need to sell these. Maybe I need to right size. Maybe I need to gift them to, I don't know, like my nephew or something who wants to become a gamer and can't afford a GPU. Maybe I need to figure out a new home for these, as the bottom line. But yeah, those are the prices. Some of the other notable coins that are mineable on these GPUs, I'm going to throw out everything from the R9 380. We got Bitcash. I didn't expect to see them on the list, but there they are. Bitcash, Zero, Flux, Beam, Raven, and what else is showing up? Firo doing all right. BitTube also doing quite well on the GTX 1070. Kind of an oddball in terms of architectural advantage there. And then Aeternity is doing all right, or Aeternity. Zero, yep. All the same suspects on the way up this list. Ethereum Classic. What else is a surprise here? Not much. I think we listed pretty much everything, but of course in every single case, it's pretty much Ethereum that's at the top of the list, or Flux, right? You got a couple of card profiles where Flux is the main event. Guys, taking a look at our GPU mining portfolio, and I appreciate you guys being here to be supportive as we're going through some of this. Yeah, hey, some Goblin losers still playing Gods Unchained. I cannot blame you, man. Gods Unchained and some of these other play-to-earn games, they get you paid. So I appreciate you being here while we're live and kind of looking at some of these markets while we're live, guys. Appreciate that for anybody who can. I think on that note, I am going to call it a little bit early. Let me quickly take a look at our mining portfolio. I want to see our GPU mining portfolio, and it looks like we got Flux at the top of the list. Not a shock there. Then Safecoin and Equilibrium, Polygon, because you can flip directly into Polygon if you want to. It's actually ahead of Ethereum. If you're mining and getting payouts on Polygon, it would actually be more worth your while to have flipped into Polygon as opposed to Ethereum. Taking a look at our biggest winners over on, skip hard drive mining because it's just depressing every time I look at it. CPU mining, it's Raptorium. Coming back strong. It's down over the last 7 days, but it's still moving strong. and then Epic Cash just behind it. ASIC mining portfolio, this is what I wanted to talk about, guys, as a follow-up to my comments before about Nervos Network. It's our top ASIC mineable entry. See, we do have GMT, which is doing great, but it's not, strictly speaking, ASIC mineable. But Nervos Network is ahead of even Bitcoin. So if you are breaking even or doing better than break even, you're doing really well on that coin. FPGAs should still be, Cadena coming up strong, but down over the last 7 days. So still amazing profits being returned there. Guys, we'll take a look at our other portfolios as we come back with more live stream content in the coming days. I'm going to leave you with this, guys. I love your face, and I've missed seeing you guys during live streams. I will probably come back to my regular studio setup for the next live stream so that it's a little bit less Spartan, but do expect for me to be doing more of this mobile broadcasting as we move into the new year. This is important for me to be able to bring a consistent experience to the channel, but also improve the sort of the production value of the show as we go into the new year. So expect to see more of this from the laptop and from the mobile broadcasting station. Guys, you are the reason that I make this media. I love your face. Remember to stay private and mind your biz.